Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sarah and Abby's vegan podcast. What did we decide on our name? Sarah and Abby's Life Adventures podcast. Anyway, Sarah and Abby were making a podcast. Each week we're going to be doing different topics. Can you? Oh my God. Sarah, do me a favor. You're probably going to hear a lot of us bickering because that's what we love to do. Go to message.
I turned it off. No, I turned it off.
On your comp? On your comp?
Yeah. Yep. On my comp.
Viewers, in about 3 minutes, we're going to hear it again. So just mark
You won't. I turned it off.
So each week we're going to be doing different topics about things that we've learned in our lives, our very long lives that we've lived. This week, we're going to be discussing everybody's favorite pets. You're really contributing a lot here, Sarah. I really love it.
Pets and just common misconceptions surrounding, the most common pets that people have. I thought that would be a good discussion.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and get right into it. If you are a pet lover, animal lover, you probably had one of these. Mm-hmm. Sarah, can you tell us a little bit about this?
So that's the dreaded critter trail. They're really small. They're made of mostly plastic.
What kind of animal usually goes in here?
So people put typically hamsters, Syrian hamsters, which are the larger of the different species of hamsters. People will put mice, gerbils, probably rats. I really pray that people wouldn't put a rat in there, but they probably. Yeah, so that's a Syrian hamster. They obviously are from Syria.
$12.99 at your local pet store.
They're very cute. They're also called teddy bear hamsters. That's how they like to advertise them in pet stores, but they're really called Syrians. They're very cute, which is why people like them. They're pretty, not easy to take care of, but their care is pretty basic. You don't have to do anything crazy, which makes them common, but they're also very common.
Starter pet.
Yeah, I'd say, they're definitely advertised as a good starter pet, and they are once you have, the setup, but the setup is, what people don't have. Syrian hamsters are from Syria, which is a desert. So Syrian hamsters are nocturnal. They'll run around at night in the wilds, scavenging for food. Okay. So in this setup, it's tiny. There's not much space to put bedding. They really love to burrow. So you need to have at least a couple of inches of bedding, which you definitely can't fit in there. Hamsters can't do vertical space because they have really poor eyesight. So they really just need a lot of floor space. And you don't get that in a critter trail, obviously. They could fall off the ledges and hurt themselves. Cleaning those tubes, impossible. Hamsters have gotten stuck in them.
Oh, yes.
The wheel, Syrian hamsters need at least an 8-inch wheel so that they don't arch their backs. And their backs will definitely be arched in that, which can result in back problems, and it's obviously uncomfortable. So these will make them go crazy. I've seen these at PetSmart too. They need corners because, again, like I said, they don't have really good eyesight. So being just in a round enclosure where they're trying to orient themselves, they really can't. And they like to burrow and get cozy in little corners.
For parents, you go to the pet store and, this is what they're selling. This is what they're recommending. I mean, why would you know any different, right?
Yeah, no, that's exactly the problem. And it's, parents will buy these cages for upwards of $50,
They're very
honestly.
expensive.
When a perfect enclosure for a hamster or mice is just a regular bin from that you can get at Walmart.
You don't
$10.
want
Some wire mesh, another $10. A lot cheaper than that tiny enclosure. So this is a bin cage. Bin cages are awesome. They're super cheap. You can make them. You can connect different ones. You just have to cut out the different sides to attach wire. But
fun
like you can see, this is a perfect one. The one this one is really, really cool. So they have the 8-inch wheel, plastic, not wire wheel, that you can just clean out. They have enough space to put bedding and a lot of floor space. Really cool. That's what a hamster cage should look like.
When you're going to get a pet for your kid, I mean, you don't want to have all of this, mess in your house. I want to buy the cute little $50 cage. It's colorful, it's pretty. I think that's the issue.
And it's just so easy, you're going there to get the pet. I don't want to stop at Walmart and then the hardware store and have to do another task. Because I feel like also they're impulse buys, so people aren't thinking about, oh, I'm going to get my kid a hamster. Let's go set up the cage. Let's spend this week setting up the cage and then go pick up the hamster next week.
No way. Yeah.
It's always, Mommy, I want a hamster. Okay. And then you pick up everything.
Well, and most of the time it's no. And then the kid, harasses the parent until finally they give in. And it's like by that point, the parent is so like pissed off that they're just like, fine,
Yeah. Which I think is, that's obviously an issue with the parent.
Yeah.
Depending on the age of the kid, I mean, you as the parent, even if you tell your kid it's their pet, no, you are responsible for it.
Yeah.
And since you are the responsible one, you have to do your own research and figure it out.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I mean, we were just talking like, oh, well, how would they know? But you know what? It's important. We need to put some credibility on, or responsibility on, people to be informed consumers and
exactly
do a Google search, like,
and just think about something, like just take a few seconds and actually think about it. Why those cages are so small. They're so small, and I feel like if any parent just took a minute and actually said, the hamster's this big. Why would I put it in something that big? It doesn't really make sense.
I think, that's always confused me, because I feel like people don't think that they're small.
I mean, maybe, I guess. Yeah.
Because how could you, you stare at it in your house, and I feel like people don't,
Yeah, well, maybe we're just thinking about it differently, because we're looking at it like this is the animal's whole life is in this tiny thing. We have to make it the best we can. But parents are just, oh, it's my kid's hamster. It's just a hamster.
Yeah, that's I think that's the issue.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah, and that would be a good travel cage to go to the vet. But people use that.
Well, and I think this image should make you uncomfortable, and I think it doesn't.
It does, because it's just a hamster to people.
Yeah, and then people like to get bogged down with, oh, well, are they smart? Are they intelligent? Well, it doesn't really matter, right? Because there's still basic needs that need to be met.
Exactly, and none of their basic needs are being met in that environment.
It's really, honestly, it's at the expense of, or at the risk of sounding dramatic, it's cruel.
No, it is. And these hamsters raised in these environments, they show so many stress behaviors. They'll chewing on the bars of their cage.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of hamsters do that. That's a stress behavior. Because they're stressed, because they're in a small space and they're starting to go crazy. And also, people don't provide hamsters are rodents, and rodents have ever-growing teeth. So you need to be really mindful about having chewing opportunities in your cage, and people don't provide that. So what do? They chew on the metal bars, which can cause dental problems too.
Now, what do pet store owners say about that if you were to ask them?
They would say, "Oh, they're cutting down their teeth. It's normal."
Yeah.
That's what I think pet store people would say.
I think they've definitely said that to me before, or they'll say like, "Oh, they're just like they're trying to like bite you," like
Yeah. Oh, they're trying to escape. Yeah, and that's not funny. That's an issue.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be trying to chew out of metal bars to escape.
Now, let's talk about something. When we go to the pet stores and see them, they're in like these little glass things. Those aren't big enough for them.
No, and not at all. They're under fluorescent lights. They're nocturnal. So being under fluorescent lights all day is extremely stressful. I went to PetSmart, remember, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And I was looking at the hamsters because I always do. And one was dead and one was dying. Her eyes were squinty. She was hunched over, sucking in her sides. And the employees had no idea. I had to call them over, let them know that one of their hamsters was dead and the other one was dying. And they made me kind of look or sound
Crazy.
like I was, yeah. And I called the next 2 days trying to check up on her, and they wouldn't give me any information because it wasn't my pet.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pull up I think it's hard for people to conceptualize because we would never see a hamster in the wild.
Yeah.
So let's just pull one up.
But pretty much all of their natural behaviors are being denied when they're in these small spaces. And even though they are solitary, which means that they don't want to live with other of their species, that doesn't mean that you just leave them in your cage and you don't touch them. They still need enrichment. They still need exercise. You still have to take your hamster out every night, put them in a playpen. You can use a bathtub. You can use a kiddie pool, switch up their toys in the playpen. And that's something that needs to be done every night.
Yeah, and I think the other thing about like them being solitary, people forget that in the wild they do interact with other animals. Like they do interact with others.
Well, they're constantly moving.
Yeah, like just because they don't
mate, they do. So that's being denied of them in captivity for obvious reasons.
Like, yeah.
But just they're constantly being enriched in the wild.
Yes.
Constantly scavenging for food. They're scavengers. They like insects. So trying to find an insect, catching an insect, a live one, finding vegetation to eat, that takes up their day in the wild. So when they're in a cage with a food bowl and a water bowl, what are they doing?
Great point. And they do live in like burrows, right? I mean, they have.
Yeah.
They each have their own burrow, but there's other ones near them.
Yeah. Yeah. And they dig, which is why having a sand bath option in your cage is really good to have.
So here's just an example of here's an example of a wild.
A wild. Yeah, see, like,
I mean, not a great image because there's not a lot of images, but wild. And then, here we have an image. Let me get my annotator. So as you can see, we have many different, they're doing things.
Yeah, they're busy. They're trying to survive. They're foraging for food. They're putting the food in different places. They're running around. They're catching bugs. And
What are some other pets that are starter pets?
guinea pigs.
Okay,
Um,
guinea pigs.
so kind of the opposite of Syrian hamsters. They're highly, highly social. And how many times do we see the basic little guinea pig cage on a kid's dresser with one guinea pig in it?
I think that's every.
Every guinea pig that I've encountered was living in a situation like that.
Yeah.
And what they require, can you pull up a picture of, look up CNC cages?
Yeah.
Really big cages that usually go on the floor. They're handmade. You put the little cubicles together and use fleece. And just like hamsters, they do like floor space. So they take up a really big space in your house.
Like they're not for everyone.
No. If you have dogs with any type of prey drive, having a guinea pig in a cage on the floor is going to be an issue. You need a big house. You need a big space to have them, and they're
And
noisy.
time.
And yeah, and you need to have multiple in most cases.
Here's the CNC cage she was mentioning.
Yeah.
There's only one in here.
That doesn't look like the typical cage sitting on someone's dresser, right?
Like,
Yeah. And the ones I've seen don't even have that level on it.
yeah, that's actually a pretty advanced one. And even this is $57. This is literally, you can make this for like, look, they put this is in euros, is that what they're called?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean literally like people, you can just, make your cage like so nice.
Yeah.
It's insane why anyone would well, and I think what? Yeah.
There's two of them.
I think the issue is that when you go to the store,
That's what they sell in the store.
they sell you this. Oops.
Yep.
They sell you this.
Yeah, so I think really it is, obviously it's the responsibility of the consumer and the parents in that situation, but it's also the responsibility of the store.
Oh yeah.
Educate to
Why
sell
are they even selling that?
because they don't know. They're not educated either.
Petco, I mean, the CEO of Petco should know.
Or maybe they know and they just don't care.
Well, yes, absolutely.
PetSmart actually did something really good. There was a new critter trail, I believe, that was released, and they were advertising it for guinea pigs.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people went around and emailed them and said this would be a great hamster cage because it was really like a bin-sized cage that we would make for a Syrian hamster.
The blue one.
Yes.
I see it.
Yeah. So that would make a good hamster cage. I wouldn't buy it because it's expensive.
It's $100.
Yeah. So they actually changed their advertisement to not include that it's for guinea pigs.
Because it's not big enough.
Yeah. So that was actually really cool of them. But yeah, consumers you just have to do research. If you want an animal, you can't just go into a pet store and read their little pamphlets that they have and get your information from that.
Absolutely not.
And I always get my information from forums. Like if you just type in guinea pig care, a bunch of online forums will come up.
And
you
crazy people who are like been studying it for years.
Mm-hmm. You just make an account and they have care sheets in there with actually good information. I find with rodents, the UK has better information than us on how to care for small animals. Like their minimum cage requirements are a lot larger than our minimum
cage requirements.
What?
Do we even have minimum cage?
I mean, nobody follows it, but yeah, we do. If you look it up.
Oh
You can.
God, I'm about to trigger you.
No, don't.
Oh wait, okay, this is decorative. Never. Is it? Oh God. All right, I don't even. Just keep talking. Just keep talking. I can't.
Yeah, so you can go on also Facebook. There's a lot of Facebook groups where you can just post a
Yeah.
question, and they also have a bunch of handouts that you can learn from, and those are really, really helpful instead of just going to PetSmart.
All right, I'm gonna show you a picture. And I'm gonna ask you what the first thing is that pops into your head. Okay?
Yeah.
You ready?
No. Oh God. Yeah, that's depressing. And that's a jail cell.
Why?
There's nothing in it. It's small. Birds, again, just like guinea pigs, and most of the animals we're talking about are social animals.
Oh my God. There's 7,538,000 birds, companion birds,
Stop.
in the United States. That is gross.
That's disgusting.
According to a national pet owner survey, the number of birds owned as a pet by households in the United States reached 20.6 million in 2017. I'm not gonna say I get it, but like with the hamsters and the guinea pigs and stuff, it's like, maybe you think that they're stupid or you think that they don't need to be, I don't know, maybe,
Yeah.
but a
A
bird
bird.
is
They,
literally a bird.
like they're meant to fly and you're putting them in a cage. For what? Because they're cute?
Yeah, because most people who have them don't even like play with them.
No, they don't let them out.
No.
They'll clip their wings
Yes.
so that if they do let them out, they can't fly. Okay, so then what's the point of letting them out?
You're taking away the one thing that makes them a bird.
Yeah.
It's weird because a lot of people will they'll like I don't know, they like get mad when they when they make noise and stuff, and they'll be like, "Oh, the bird's still up." It's a bird.
A
Like
bird. It's talking. It's
it's a bird.
yeah.
I think birds are very problematic pets.
Yeah.
I
They are so hard to take care of. They
Yep,
require so much time.
but also they're hard to like kill easily. Like you're not gonna accidentally kill them; they're just gonna suffer.
Yeah. So hamsters, for example, can literally die from stress, right?
Yeah, like on a
Wet tail. They get wet tail.
overnight.
Yeah. A bird is more hardy and they're just going to endure a life of suffering because of that.
I want
And
to find.
super, super smart.
Yeah, they are. I'm trying to find an image of like parakeets in the wild.
Mm.
We have to get our images ready for next time because the viewers, I feel like, um, here they are. Okay. No, and I was reading an article about how it's literally torture to keep a bird alone.
Yeah, I believe it. Any social animal. Uh, okay, we're in quarantine now, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
How
I'm
did
freaking out.
and we have books and we have TV and we're able to guess what leave the
Time.
house, go for a walk, go for a drive if we want to, right? Now imagine if and we have pets keeping us company. Um the animals live like that every single day and don't have the ability to just go for a walk and leave, go for a drive and leave. Let me switch on the TV. Oh no, I can't. I'm in a cage.
It's
I'm reliant on this weird species thing to to amuse me.
look
Is
at this.
that the wild?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These
Those
are
are
the parakeets. These ones, um, these small ones,
cute.
and these are parrots and macaws, obviously.
Cute. Yeah. And people will keep those by themselves in a cage. Sorry, I thought I turned it off.
What did I tell you guys? What did I tell you? Yeah, by themselves in a cage. Hmm.
Yeah. Hmm.
Hmm. In a cage, you're gonna keep
In a cage.
a bird.
In a cage.
I want somebody to like explain it to me.
Selfishness because they're pretty and that's what humans do.
But they don't even, I feel like people who have birds don't even like them. I'm trying
No.
to think about people who I've known who've had birds. It was one person I babysat for, like literally the very first person I babysat for. They kept it covered all the time because they'd be like, "Oh, it squeaks too, like it like makes noise unless you cover it." And I'm like,
Yeah. So
one,
you now you're seeing it with no stimulation.
yeah."
Mm-hmm.
Another person, same thing. They'd be like, "Oh, they're so loud, so we have to like cover it." What? What?
I know someone now who has a bird, but she takes excellent, excellent care of her bird, and she is very devoted to her bird, and her bird is going to be with her for her entire life because
And
it's a
she rescued it.
and she rescued it and beautiful, beautiful cage, like devotes so much of her time to her bird.
Well, yeah, I think if you are passionate about keeping birds, get a bird from get a bird from a rescue. And what do we mean by that? There are people who, have bred them and then who can't take care of them anymore, who give them away. So find that bird, who needs a home, and then the only way that it's, uh, ethical to keep them is by having an entire room for them
Mm-hmm.
that's theirs, that they can play in, that they can fly in, or whatever, their clipped wings. You know,
Yeah,
like you have to.
yeah, yeah. And again, that's also just an issue of education and not walking into a pet store with your kid and picking up a bird and buying the first cage you see.
Yeah, and why do pet stores sell birds and have
Why do pet stores sell any animal? That's the whole like the
yeah.
the pet trade that whew,
Yeah, we could, I
that
mean, we could switch gears a little bit, talk about that.
yeah, the pet trade. So the suppliers that I hate to call them suppliers because they're producing live animals, but the suppliers that give animals to big name pet stores like Petco and PetSmart are disgusting. They're warehouses just full of these small animals, of birds, of rodents that are just breeding and breeding and breeding, obviously denied vet care, crammed into tiny cages, and then they get shipped to whatever pet store they're going to, stressful, and then they're finally at the pet store under fluorescent lights, being poked and prodded all day. And that's what killed that hamster at the PetSmart that I saw the other day. They
Hmm.
said she had just come, like she was just put on the floor the previous day. So the stress of all of that killed her.
Yeah.
Reptiles,
Oh God.
pet stores is horrible. They're another one just like birds. well, birds are reptiles. But
Wait.
so, yeah, birds are considered reptiles.
Ooh, talk about it.
That's the one thing, I took away from.
You're so sexy when you talk about science.
Ooh, thanks. Um, yeah, reptiles are just
How do I
really.
find photos of like? Ooh, here, found it. Viewers discretion advised. This isn't even that bad. Oh, okay. Yep.
Let me see.
Here we go. Hmm. It's mice. People don't care about mice, but you get the idea.
I mean, I can.
This image. These are live mice in transport.
They're live.
Hmm.
Those look like baby rats.
Yeah, they
I
do.
think those are baby rats.
Hmm. Well, it says like, let me see.
Oh,
Can we read what this is?
stop.
Yeah. So yeah, basically they're like bred and then like shipped. This is from the dodo, so it's not from PETA. Um,
PETA does actually have a good video on those big
let me look.
warehouses. So just picture literally where you think PetSmart gets their animals.
I feel like people think they come from a farm, like dead ass.
They don't.
I think people think that.
Males and females are housed together. That's why when you buy a female from PetSmart, guess what? It's probably pregnant. Most PetSmarts only sell like one gender of animal. So like my PetSmart at home sells females of pretty much everything. But the PetSmart,
is your home now.
oh, well, in Westchester, the PetSmart sells mostly females, but other PetSmart sells mostly males. It depends on which one. But the females, you got to be wary because yeah.
I haven't been on their website in a while. They've definitely redone it. Looks good. Oh, Sarah, now we're talking a lot about pets, starter pets,
Mm-hmm.
and I get all this. Like I would never let my kid get one of these. But what about fish? I mean, they don't matter, right?
Um, so fish. Goldfish, your basic goldfish, Goldie the goldfish, require 20 gallons of space per fish.
Now, can you just what is that? What's 20 gallons?
Okay, so it's pretty big. It's like maybe 3.5 feet long by 1.5 feet. I don't know. I don't know.
That's good. I think that's good. I like.
It's pretty decent size.
Yeah, that was good enough.
For one goldfish. And the reason for that is they produce a bunch of ammonia
Ooh,
because they are just going to the bathroom all the time.
you told me this before.
Yeah.
Not
So,
why?
okay, see? So also, that's a common fish bowl, right?
That is everyone's fishbowl right now.
Notice how it gets a lot of bowls, gets smaller at the top.
Yes.
That is really dangerous because the water has to have enough oxygen in it. So it should really be like the top of your tank, or tanks are mostly rectangle. But if you had a bowl, the top needs to have the most surface area because it needs to have.
We'll never will.
Yeah, but that's why those are horrible. Besides just not having enough room.
Why do pet stores sell beta fish in?
Huh. Okay. So they are in the wild. Beta fish are found in really shallow.
They can live in a puddle.
Yes, so people like to say that. They live in really shallow puddles. Okay.
That's what I've heard.
Because
Yeah.
they can. Again, this is what we'll talk about when we talk about dog food. Just because they can live like that, they can survive, doesn't mean that they should.
Mm.
Betta fish are actually intelligent. They can recognize their owner.
Mm.
They're really pretty, like they're beautiful. And females actually can live together. Males cannot. Males are the prettier ones, like the ones most commonly in pet stores. Can't live together, but they require a pretty big space. So those little cups, obviously, you can't keep them in. But even those 1-gallon tanks that they sell at PetSmart are not suitable. I think the minimum is 5 gallons. I personally,
This says 10 gallons.
10?
Yep.
Yeah. 10 seems like a good size for one betta fish. Minimum. And I always look at it like they're so beautiful. Wouldn't you want to get a bigger tank and kind of and put live plants and make it really pretty? You know? Give
Well,
them a
not if you're the parent whose kid keeps begging you to get a pet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I just did a quick like betta fish natural habitat. It appears that betta fish live here.
Huh.
This huge.
Interesting.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
On this website called, let's see, the native betta habitat separating fact from fiction. Habitat and the puddle myth.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so it's abuse. It's abuse. The bowls that they're kept
The
in.
cups, they're not even like.
Yeah, it's abuse. It's abuse. And there's no room for them to like they don't even put a plant in there.
Yeah, I don't
For
even.
them
Yeah,
to hide.
I don't even see how they. Uh,
Like
I can, how do they? I don't even know how you would rationalize that.
you
Like,
can't. You can't. You can't because people they're objects to people and this is how you get people to notice them. Oh, this one's so pretty. Let's put it under fluorescent lights in a cup.
ooh, this first search result that came up on betta fish was from PETA Kids. That's good. So
Yeah.
they live in streams. So I guess that's why they need so much. Like they do need space. It might be shallow, but they live in moving water. So like they're
Yeah, and again, they have the opportunity to swim and go places.
yeah, because they're literally in a like
They're in a stream. They're in
stream.
water. They're in an open water system. Like
Yeah,
they're not like.
that's like yeah. Okay, let me show you another picture I know is near and dear to your heart. Something near and dear to your heart.
Near and dear. Okay. Oh. Who? Okay. Yeah. That is not a hermit crab cage.
Well, then why does it say hermit crab cage?
I don't know. Maybe that's like a grasshopper cage or something.
That looks like a grasshopper cage. When I met Sarah, she had 2 hermit crabs in a 40-gallon tank.
Yeah.
Now she just said that 20 gallons is 3.5 feet. Yes, this tank was bigger than me and heavier than both of us combined. Quite large.
Yeah. So hermit crabs are very, very difficult to keep. They're very what?
In captivity.
What?
In captivity.
In captivity, yeah. So hermit crabs, actually, not a lot of people know this. We cannot breed them in captivity. So every single hermit crab that you see in a pet store was captured from the wild. So they're captured from the wild and then transported, obviously, roughly. Again, they can also die from being handled roughly. They're pulled from their shells and often placed into painted shells, which are painted with toxic paint. And then they're shipped out to pet stores.
Amen.
So hermit crabs they start out aquatic. So this is why we can't breed them in captivity. So the mama hermit crab will have fertilized eggs on her abdomen, right? She'll go into the ocean, she'll take a little bath, the eggs will go off of her, and then the babies
That's the
happen.
same with like aodals, right?
Axolotls.
Aodals.
I don't know how axolotls breed, but they're aquatic salamanders.
Yeah, but we can't breed them in captivity either.
Oh, yeah, you're
They're
right.
only bred
Right.
in
Yep.
Mexico
Mhm.
and
Yep.
ponds or whatever.
Mhm. Yeah. So yeah, hermit crabs, then they chill in the ocean. They're little microscopic guys, and then they grow their little legs, they come out, and then they're a little crabby. So since they start out aquatic, they have modified gills.
Mm.
So what that
I love when you
means
say this.
so that means that they have gills just like a fish, but they are obviously land animals. So they need to live in a very, very humid environment and have constant access to water, or else they will essentially suffocate. So that cage, can you pull that up again?
Sure.
So the cage Abby had up had wire mesh, right? So you cannot, it's not possible to keep that environment humid. The humidity will just leave, right? Hermit crabs need 6 inches of moist, at least 6 inches. The more, oh yeah, perfect. That's a great crab-habitat. Um, oh, I love that one. That's nice. So they have coconut fiber substrate, probably mixed with some sand, and it has to be sandcastle consistency because they need to be able to dig down into the substrate to molt. So in that previous one, there was absolutely no room for them to molt. Molting means that they're shedding their exoskeleton, which is basically their skin.
Talk dirty to me.
And then they grow. So that they need to stay under the sand for a while, because when they shed that, they're really vulnerable because their underneath skin is really soft and they're out of their shells. So if a predator came along, they could just eat them really easily. So they have to stay under the sand, wait for their new exoskeleton to harden, and then they'll come back up. So that environment
Sarah,
is
what
just,
about this?
oh, again, it's plastic. You can't keep humidity in that. You need glass. There's not enough sand
What
in
if I
there. It's
filled it up
definitely dry.
with sand?
What?
What if I just filled it up more with sand?
I mean, that would be better, but you don't have room.
Little tree though.
Oh, okay. So
Look at
great.
look at this poor man.
So he's in a painted shell, which is really bad. And hermit crabs also, aside from having between 75 to 90% humidity in their crabbitat at all times, they need constant access to fresh water and salt water.
Oh yes.
Okay. And the salt water
Right
is not
here.
just water that you put some salt in.
Oh my god, she almost freaking remember the saltwater fiasco?
What with my mom?
What?
What salt water?
When I was taking the hermit crabs, it was like, you have to make sure you spray them and I had them for one day and she was like bugging out, like, make sure you do this. And then when I would call her to ask her questions, she'd be like, oh my God, Abby, I don't know why it's so difficult. Just like make sure they have water. And I'm like, oh, but if I would,
Yeah, and in that tiny one, so their water supply, they need to be able to fully submerge. So they need to be able to have a ratio in their shell that keeps some water in their shell. And they need to have the right ratio between fresh water and salt water. So they need to fully submerge, which means that you're going to have a pretty big container of both fresh water and salt water. in your tank.
So, and tell us now, because nobody has this except for you, how do most hermit crabs die?
Suffocation
Mm.
by lack of humidity, stress, because molting is very stressful, and if they're stressed out during the molting process, they can die. It's also important for them to have the right diet. So when hermit crabs are molting, they'll be under the sand for months. The larger hermit crab, the longer the time they're going to be spending molting. So if you have a medium-sized guy, he'll be gone for like 2 months. Won't see him. Then he'll come up and he's starving. Ooh, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, so like just quickly, like, this is the wild. I mean,
Those are Ecuadorian hermit crabs.
ooh,
Super.
I
There's
didn't know that.
okay, because I could just tell. So they're, contrary to their name, hermit, they are extremely social. So you need to keep multiple. The more, the better. So they're not a beginner pet by any means. A hermit crab is really challenging to take care of.
Then why the hell do they give them out on the boardwalks?
I don't know, but that like it
Makes me sick.
and you know what? Like they are smart. Like I had them for a lot of years and I had a lot of them, and they really did have their own personality, and they really did recognize you. Like they knew who I was. Like if I took one out to hold it, hermit crabs aren't, an animal that you can just take out and play with. You can obviously take them out and hold them for a little bit, but they need to be in their temperature and humidity regulated environment. So they would know if I took them out and I was holding them, they would be more active with me. Those are Ecuadorians. You could tell by the eyes. They're so cute. Yeah, and they would come out and crawl around for me. But if my friend would come over, they would be nervous because they would know it's not me.
Aww.
Yeah. Damn, now I want hermit crabs here.
No. I found the video. Not sure if the viewers are ready for this. Pretty freaking disgusting. I have to say, and I've seen a lot of gross things from PETA.
Is it the? Oh, I'm scared.
It's the small animal one.
Oh yeah.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
We're doing this for your own good, okay? I mean, is it full screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
What am I looking at? Is that filled with water?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
These are hamsters.
Stop. And they're wet. They could die if they're wet.
They probably all are gonna die. Look at them crawling on the thing.
Oh,
And,
look at the one.
this is what you are like paying $12.99 to get. He was this one. Or
And you're supporting that. Every time you buy one from the pet store.
Look, this is dead. This is dead.
Mm-hmm. This is being supported.
And it's just a reality. We don't need to see frogs.
No. And obviously I love I loved having my hamsters. I loved having my hermit crabs. I had my mice. I had my rats.
Awesome. Oh God.
It's having pets is great, but there's are those meerkats? What is that?
I don't know.
Hey goose.
Ferrets. Oh God, that's an issue and a half. The ferrets.
Yeah, no, they're so we're not saying don't have these animals as pets.
I mean, no.
Well, if you want one, if you want to get a hamster, do not go to PetSmart or Petco or any pet store. quick Google search, hamster rescue,
Oh.
and you will find adoptable. There's always
Ooh,
adoptable.
shout out your place. What's that rescue that?
Oh, yes, Westchester Rescued Hamster Haven.
Mhm.
It's the only hamster specific rescue in the country, run by an amazing woman named Claudie. She is amazing. So there's options, if you do want a pet, always adopt and never go to a pet store, even for small animals, even for reptiles, even for fish.
Fish.
What?
Even for a fish.
Yes. There are always people who are looking to rehome their animals, and there's really no reason to go to a pet store,
No.
All of my rats were rescued. My hamsters were from that rescue. The hermit crabs.
We got hamsters from Craigslist. They were giving them away for free.
Yeah.
We saw that, or no, Facebook. It was like, come get them, remember?
Yeah.
And then we rehomed them for free to people.
Yep. Yeah. So, there's really no need to support.
Oh, Sarah, we have to talk about rabbits because it's Easter.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
not going to post this until tomorrow, but today is Easter. Oh my God, I just typed in rabbit, I forgot the T, so a bunch of pictures of rabbits came up. I gotta show you this. Look. Rabbit. Rabbits upset me because most are huge.
Oh,
They're big.
yeah. Yeah. And again, they're
Smart. Social.
So to take proper care of a rabbit, I mean, I've never had one.
This is like, no, Sarah, we did have a rabbit.
Oh my gosh, I miss him.
Like, even that is not okay.
No, it's not. No. And, again, I think that the issue, like, people just think that they buy animals impulsively, which needs to stop. They see how cute they are and they buy. And that's an issue because it's not an object. And
That's forever. Oh,
and
God, I'm gonna kill myself.
the vet bills for these small animals are astronomical.
Take them to the vet, Sarah.
But you should. Any pet that okay. Hopefully that's just a hospital page.
Die.
Maybe that's just
rabbit in the best indoor rabbit cage.
Oh, that's really the best one.
On it.
The vet care. So dogs and cats, right? We bring our dogs and cats to the vet at least once a year for their yearly. And they go to regular vet clinics. So yeah, it's expensive, but guess what? You have a small animal, those are considered exotic animals.
Yep.
Those have to go to a different vet. So your $60 exam fee that you pay for your dog is now $100 for your rabbit.
If you can even find a vet that takes rabbits, and
it's gonna be a drive. And the medication and the exam and the testing, like they need specialized equipment. So when I would bring my rats in, the little tiny equipment, the little scale, the little x-ray is completely different for a small animal. So it's more expensive.
and
you have
well, go ahead, babe.
No, you.
No, I just like I don't like it.
No, it's unless you are ready to give your small animal the proper environment, the proper diet, we didn't even touch on that, and vet care. If you are not willing to bring your hamster to the vet, you cannot have a hamster.
Yeah.
End of story. Animals get sick and animals need to go to the vet.
And you know what I don't like is
What?
the freaking state fair. Thank God it's canceled this year.
Oh God.
Like with the rabbits, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh my, yep. I only went to that once.
So sad. You went
Well,
more than once. You went with me.
no, I didn't. Oh yeah, I did. That's the only time I went.
Really? No.
Mhm. Yeah, I tried to go the next year with my roommates and my sister, and we couldn't find parking, so we gave up.
Are you serious? That's so like, you. Like, let's just go.
Like, I'm gonna wait around.
Well, we don't want to make this one too long.
No. But I think, bottom line with what we're trying to say, or what I'm trying to say here
Oh no, babe, speak for both of us.
is, it's animals are not here for our entertainment.
No.
They're not. And you need to be a mindful human being, not consumer, just human being.
Mm.
And when you go to these stores, you need to do research. And you know what? Your kid wants a hamster, go home, research it, and then ask yourself, can you, as the parent, provide that for the hamster?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you going to, you have enough space in your house for that? You have enough time in your evening?
But you know what I've heard a lot too is, oh, so and so brought it home for me, and now it's just at my house.
I'm
So what do we do with that?
you know what? As much as I want to say you say no, then that's putting that animal in a bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
You take responsibility and you find it a new home. Contact your local shelter,
Mm-hmm.
even if it won't take them, and they'll put you in touch with whoever you need to get in touch with.
Wow. Or contact one of the crazy rescue places that we've just been talking about.
Yeah, they will. They
People drive to come get them too.
yeah, and there's foster homes. So even like a lot of these rescues don't have a physical location, but the fosters will take them. Hit me up. Honestly,
Don't hit her. She will. Oh my gosh, she will take it. So
yeah, and and being a mindful human, and just they're sentient beings, and they deserve to have a life with
yeah,
a quality of life.
and it's not about how smart you are. It's about they feel things.
Yes,
I don't
and
care how smart anything is. They're alive, and it's wrong.
yeah, and be mindful about what you're supporting when you do buy these animals. You know, you buy a hamster, oh, it's just $12.99. Okay, well, now they're just gonna fill that spot with another hamster
Mm-hmm.
from that same warehouse. So do your research. You still want the animal? Do your research and find a reputable rescue, and you will find any animal, any breed of animal you want in rescue. You
Literally.
will. Sometimes it takes time and sometimes you have to wait, but you will find one. The animals we just talked about today, you can find in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Pet Finder is a great resource. Petfinder.com. Mm-hmm.
And
Um,
I think that it's like, you know, for parents, we're not parents, but we do watch a lot of Super Nanny. So shout out Nanny Joe. Use it as a learning opportunity for your kid. No, we're not going to get a hamster, not because I'm being mean, not because I'm saying no, but because and tell them why. Tell them it's not nice to keep things in cages. Tell them that you don't want to do that. Make it a learning experience, and help them understand that,
mm-hmm.
not no because I said so, no because it's me, no because we don't want
We
to,
don't have time.
we don't,
Have
or
the
like
money.
we don't we don't want to put something in it, because obviously, yeah, you could get a rescue one, but like, if they're too young to understand all that, just simply no, it's not right for something to live in a cage. And I feel like a child, even if they're young, I feel like they would understand that.
Yeah.
And if they don't, then that's your job to teach them that.
Yep. And say your kid is a little older and they would be the primary caregiver, right? But they still live in your house. Tell them you want the hamster? Okay. 2 months.
Yeah,
You
we were
still
talking about that. That's what
Yep.
yeah.
You still want it in 2 months or a month. Yeah, 2 months. Research it, raise your money, do a bunch of research, find the rescue that we're going to get it from, do all your research, set up the cage. And if by the end of 2 months you still want it, okay.
Exactly.
But we're not making impulsive decisions.
Because if they really want it, that 2 months, is
Yep.
nothing. And if they say something like, "Oh, well, it's just blah, blah," like all that for a fish, well, then they don't really want it.
Then you don't deserve it. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that can be a great learning opportunity for you and for the kid.
Yeah. Because I know that's how I was. I
Yes.
very passionate about keeping animals, and my parents would just say no a lot. And I wouldn't want to dismiss my child like that, if they were really passionate about it, and I wouldn't want to just say no, but I would make sure that they're serious. And yeah. And I really like what you said. Like, we don't it's not nice to keep animals in cages.
Yeah, because I feel like any age, they'll understand that. Like, that's a basic, concept that you can teach them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, give us some feedback. We're definitely new to the podcast game. Shout out to some of our favorite Corinne and Christina at Guys We Fucked. Nanny Joe. She doesn't have a podcast, but she has Super Nanny, of course.
Claudie.
Oh yes. Oh,
Enzo, Claudie, mainly Rat Rescue.
Carol Baskin. We're big fans of hers.
Yeah.
Axe Exotic is not a good pet store. They hit the mice over the heads to kill them.
Definitely don't go to Axe Exotic Pets.
In Fishkill, New York.
Yeah.
All right, just gonna end on this. So again, this is just rabbits, but it kind of goes.
Oh, I love the pen.
Yeah, right?
That's a great idea.
Yeah, so again, they have their main thing, but then they also have this play area, and then this looks like they might even have some more area over here. We got the top bottom. We got this whole thing.
Oh, I like that.
The free range. And then for a bird, we got, oops. I mean, even this is like basic. But no, absolutely not.
Can't see it.
Oh, sorry. Why didn't you say something?
Because I was just like waiting.
Oh my gosh, she always does that.
Yeah.
Basic still, but this is no.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and we're going to be coming at you later this week with another episode, probably about the same thing.
Probably.
We talk about this literally for the rest of our lives. All right. Should we have like a sign-off phrase, like a all right, we'll work on it.
Yeah, we'll think of something good.
All right.
Bye. Bye, guys.